Good morning. Happy Monday. What a gorgeous day to sell real estate. Like, this weather just screams, hold an open house, go knock on a door, put a listing sign in a yard, go show property, call your database because everybody is going to be in a great mood. It's a great day to sell real estate. We have historically, and I can't remember if we started this in 2020 or if it was 2021, but I think it's been since 2020 that the last 2 months of the year, we have done a leadership series on DPR Daily Huddles and brought in leaders from all across the nation to share with you just their perspective on leadership, what they've learned in their journey. And it's absolutely one of my favorite series that we do on Huddles. And, you know, you may be sitting on this call saying, but I don't lead a team. I don't have a leadership position. And here's what I truly know is that as our leadership grows, our opportunities grow, our influence grows, our finances grow. I do believe it is a linchpin for getting what we want to get out of life is growing our leadership. And so I would challenge you that everybody on this call, some of you are leading teams in big businesses, some of you are leading in your communities and other places. All of you lead your clients, all of you lead your families. And so every single person, the sound of my voice is a leader. And we have kicking us off, Seychelle. I don't know if you realize you're kicking us off, but we have one of our favorites. I'm going to say our, because if you know her, you love her, favorite mega agents. She's led a MREA team for many, many, many years. And she has just a phenomenal heart to serve people and to help people become all that they can be. She runs Empire Building Podcast or hosts that. And so if you haven't tuned into that, I will tell you so many more great opportunities to learn about business and leadership. Without any further ado, Say, thank you for being on with us this morning, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here because you all know DPR has my heart, having been with you all now we've been together 19 plus years, almost 20 years together, which feels weird because I don't feel old enough to have like a college age anything. So the fact that we've been together for almost 20 years is just amazing. And I was thinking this morning about what message we all need to be hearing in between our ears right now. And I am getting ready to go down to Austin for the Top 100 Mastermind, and several of you on this call are going to be down there as well with Gary this week. And he's been on my heart a lot, as we all know, right? There's been some big news that's come out. And we were sitting in a room about 6 months ago when this lawsuit was kind of up in the air. And, you know, there were big numbers being thrown around at that time. And someone in the room asked him, you know, Gary, like, with this kind of hanging over your head, like, aren't you mad about it? Aren't you angry about it? Doesn't it like stress you out all the time? Doesn't it like, I mean, you know, because like, you know, when you get a settlement with a B in front of it, right? Like $1.7 billion, it's like nothing to snuff at. By the way, I did the math. If we all contribute $9,400 as an individual agent to him, he could pay it, just so you know. That's the math. The path is in the math, right? But they were asking him like, you know, aren't you, like, doesn't this just like weigh on your shoulders? Like I've had one like Trek complaint ever, and it sat with me for like 4 months. Like I carried it around. It wasn't even true, but I carried it around like it was. Like it weighs on you when bad stuff happens. And he said something that I thought was so telling. He said, you know, at the end of the day, lots of stressful things are going to happen to us. Our market's going to happen to us. Our business is going to happen to us. Lawsuits may happen to us. But at the end of the day, the one thing no one can take away from me is my happiness. No one gets to control that. And it was one of those moments for me that was such like a clarifying moment, especially as I get ready to go down and see him now with the settlement settled, right, for the first time. His perspective is like, we must move forward, and no one can take away my happiness. They can't take away the joy of my grandkids. They can't take away how I feel around my family. They can't take away who I am as a person and how I treat other people. And I thought, wow, like what an amazing leader we get to be around, that in the face when other companies are literally stabbing our industry in the back, and settling over things they shouldn't be settling. He's literally going, no, I'm going to stand up for what I believe is right. And number two, you can't take away my happiness. And I think about leadership right now and how the world needs more of it. We all need more of it in our society and our community. I mean, Tina, a huge shout out to you. You're leading your family in a huge way right now. And I see you showing up, you know, through what Brian shares with us on how you're leading that. And I just on every level, whether it is our self-leadership, it's our family leadership, our communities, our schools, our businesses, we need great leaders. So I thought I would share with you all some of the things now, having been through 3 of these market cycles, up and down and up and down, some of the things that we hold near and dear as we roll through some of these things together. So the first thing I will tell you is that I believe that our world and our wealth grows to the extent we do. So for you all being on the call this morning, huge high fives. Can everybody give like a high five if you're on camera? High five for showing up and being here early and being ready, because the amount of growth that you have over the next 12 to 16 months is going to determine your wealth on the other side of that. So that's number one. And a huge high five, because starting with this in the morning and having community around you is huge. The second thing I will say that I learned from my dad in leadership is when hard times happen, there are 2 things we can control. We can control our actions and we can control our attitude. There's a lot of things we won't be able to control in the next 12 to 16 months, but we can control our actions and we can control our attitude. And do you know what people love with leaders? They love a leader that has a positive attitude, but can be grounded in reality, right? It's okay. We're not going to run around and just like everything is unicorns and rainbows and sparkles all the time, right? It can be hard sometimes, but good and great leaders show up saying, you know what, this is a hard time right now, or maybe you're feeling uncertain, or maybe you're not sure what to do, but guess what? We are partners together and we are going to come up with a game plan that's going to work. And so when you can control the message and the attitude and the actions that you're going to take, whether it's with your clients or with your family or with your community, right? You are showing up as a leader that gives people calmness and certainty. And we've all seen, right, there are listings starting to sit longer on the market. The thing that our clients crave the most right now is a game plan. So the best thing that we can say to our teams, the best thing we can say to our clients is, you know what? This is the plan. And if this plan doesn't happen, here's what's going to happen next. Every conversation we have should end with, here's what's going to happen next. And you know what? If that plan doesn't work, we're going to talk again the next week and have a different plan of what's going to happen next. Because then that gives you a couple days to figure out what the next plan is. And it's okay not to have the answers, but it's important to make sure we're casting just the next best step. And that was something that we talked about on the Empire Building podcast, is sometimes the stairwell seems really high and you're trying to go from step 1 to step 30. And it's really important we just remember that all you have to do to get to the top of the staircase is to take the next best step. That's it. That's all we need. The next best step is all you have to take. So if you can see one step in front of yourself, after 30 of those, you're at the top of the staircase. And that's all you need. And we have this amazing office around us that gives us the knowledge. I mean, I think about the broker chat last week with Ann LaCusta, right? Messaging comes out, Ann's already on with a game plan, and she's been thinking about it for months. Like, we are so incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by these amazing leaders and this amazing community that when tough times happen are even more powerful and helpful for us than even the good times. And so these are the times when I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful we're a DPR because it makes all the difference in the world, all the difference in the world. So as we go out today, my hope is that we focus on our actions, our attitude, and the next best step. If you are going to think about what your next best step is to take today, what would that be for you? I'd love to hear from some of you all. And I'll share with you guys, this sounds like a little one, but it's actually a really big one. This morning, the first thing I did before hopping on with you guys is I went over my calendar for the next 2 weeks, looking at what my calendar looks like to make sure it's aligned with my priorities and goals. So I looked ahead for the next 2 weeks of my calendar to make sure it's in alignment. And then I looked at the 3 things I've got to get done this week that are like non-negotiables, and making sure that I have those on my calendar. That was my next best step. Like, it wasn't like I some of our friends did run marathons yesterday. I did not run the New York Marathon yesterday. And, but my marathon was my calendar this morning. So if you think about what your next best step is, what would your next best step be as you think about that? Oh, Troy, I love it. He reviewed his business planning notes in preparation for his MAPS coaching call tomorrow. Fantastic. Yes, I love that. What other things can you think about? If any of you all have listings on the market, reviewing those today would be a great next best step, and making sure you're communicating out your game plan for that.
Signing up for Quantum Leap.
Yes. Come join me, Daniel. It's the best class. We're teaching it. I'm giving a self plug here, but November 16th, we're teaching Quantum Leap. Thank you for the shout out, Daniel. It's a class Gary Keller wrote on basically how to get anything you want in life, and to create your vision and mission for yourself and your business. So if you haven't signed up, we're teaching it in the Market Center, which never happens. Normally you have to travel for it, next Thursday. And Rach Potter and I are teaching it. We're very excited to be bringing it to you. Thank you for the shout out, Daniel. You are awesome.
The sign up link for Quantum Leap is in the chat box. So I think we've got a good group already signed up, but we do still have seats available. Let's fill the house. If you have maybe another agent you've worked a transaction with that maybe is feeling a little discouraged about the market or about real estate, this is such a great class, guys, because so many times we get in the weeds. And the truth is, right now, what Tommy and I were talking about this morning, he said, what game do you think we're playing? And I said, we're playing a long game right now. We're playing a long game, meaning everything we do right now, we may not feel the results today. We're planting seeds to play a long game. What we do today, just like Seychelle opened, determines our success in 18 to 24 months, not just our success today.
Mm-hmm.
And Quantum Leap, what that's going to do is going to help you develop a mission, and make sure that your long game is tied to something bigger than just the weeds of today. It's going to anchor you to something that's big, and you're going to need anchors to pull you through if you're playing a long game.
Right.
To equate it to my Orange Theory, it's an endurance day, people. It's an endurance block. It's an endurance block. It's not short bursts right now. It's an endurance block. Seychelle, thank you for being on with us. You were amazing. What a great kickoff to this week and to this series. I've got a couple more announcements for everybody. If you